You check your bank app during a normal day. Maybe you're waiting in line, or sitting on the couch, or taking a break at work. You already know the number, but you still look. You do the math again in your head. Bills, rent, food, a little left. Nothing looks wrong, but your body doesn't feel calm. There's this quiet stress sitting under everything. Not panic, just pressure. And then comes that small wave of shame. You tell yourself you should feel more in control by now. You're working, you're trying, you understand money better than before. So why does it still feel like this? You don't say it out loud, but part of you wonders if you're stuck, if you're behind, if saving is just something other people are better at. You close the app and move on with your day, but the feeling stays with you. Later, you tell yourself you'll start saving soon, next month, after this expense, when things feel easier. That thought brings a bit of relief, but deep down, you know you've been here before. Here's the strange part. If this was just a money problem, knowing what to do would be enough. But you already know what to do, and it still feels hard. That's the clue most people miss. This doesn't feel heavy because you're bad with money. It feels heavy because something else is happening under the surface. And until you see that, saving will keep feeling like a fight you don't understand. When you think about saving, your body reacts before your mind does. You feel tight. You feel unsure. Maybe even a little uneasy, like something bad could happen if you make the wrong move. Nothing has gone wrong yet, but it still feels risky. That feeling makes you pause, it makes you hesitate. You tell yourself you're just being careful. You tell yourself it makes sense to wait until things feel more stable. And honestly, that feels reasonable because right now your mind is locked on today, on bills, on needs, on what could come up next. So saving doesn't feel smart. It feels like you're taking something away from yourself. Here's what's happening under the surface. Your brain is in survival mode. That doesn't mean you're in danger. It means your brain thinks you might be. When money feels tight or uncertain, your brain shifts into protect now mode. It starts scanning for risk. It keeps asking, what if something happens? And what if you need this soon? In this state, the future feels far away and unclear. Today feels loud and real. So anything that helps right now feels safe, and anything that delays relief feels wrong. Spending can feel calming. Holding money close can feel like control. Saving feels like giving up safety. That's why this feels so hard. Not
It's
because you
alright.
don't
There's
care,
no need to place
not
blame
because
for
you lack
this.
control,
I think I
but because a stressed brain is not built to plan calmly. It is built to protect you in the moment. Once you see that, the struggle stops feeling personal. And when it stops feeling personal, it finally starts to make sense. When you hear the number 5,000, something shifts inside you. You might not say it out loud, but your body reacts. Your chest tightens a bit. Your thoughts slow down. It doesn't feel like a goal. It feels heavy, like money you're not allowed to touch. You imagine having that amount saved, and instead of feeling calm, you feel nervous. What if something happens? What if you need it? What if you save it and then lose it? That fear shows up fast, even if you don't fully notice it. So part of you pulls back before you even try. This is why this number matters, not because of math, but because of what it represents to you. It's the first time saving stops feeling small and starts feeling real. Small savings feel flexible. This doesn't. This feels like commitment. And commitment feels risky when your brain still wants quick safety. Deep down, your brain treats this amount like a line you shouldn't cross. On one side, money feels usable and safe. On the other side, it feels locked away and uncertain. So every time you get close, something inside you finds a reason to stop. An expense comes up. You tell yourself now isn't the right time. You promise you'll restart soon. This isn't because you don't want stability. It's because your brain hasn't learned to trust it yet. Holding money without touching it feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels unsafe. So if you've never crossed this point, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you hit the first real emotional barrier, one that has nothing to do with effort and everything to do with how safety feels to you right now. When you finally hold that amount without touching it, something quiet changes inside you. You don't celebrate. You don't feel proud in a loud way. What you feel is strange calm mixed with disbelief. You start thinking, wait, I didn't break. I didn't lose control. At first, you're still careful. You still feel the urge to dip into it. But slowly, another feeling shows up. Trust. Not trust in money, but trust in yourself. You begin to see proof that you can sit with discomfort and not fix it right away. That's new. Before this, money controlled your mood. Stress pushed you to act fast. Relief came from spending or avoiding. Now, you notice something different. You can pause, you can wait, you can feel the urge and not obey it. That's not about discipline, that's about identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who reacts. You start seeing yourself as someone who can hold space, someone who doesn't need instant relief to feel okay. That shift is small, but it's powerful. This is why this moment matters more than the money itself. You are no longer just trying to survive the week. You are proving to yourself that you can delay comfort without falling apart. That changes how you see your choices. You don't feel rich, you don't feel fearless, but you feel steadier. And for the first time, steady feels possible. That's the real shift. Not in your bank account, but in how you see who you are when pressure shows up. After a while, you notice something subtle. You don't feel rushed all the time. Decisions that used to feel urgent start to slow down. You still think about money, but it doesn't sit in your chest the same way. The noise lowers. When you see something you want to buy, there's a pause that wasn't there before. Not guilt, not fear, just space. You ask yourself, do I really need this right now? And sometimes the answer is no, without any fight inside you. That's new. Your stress response changes too. Small problems don't feel like emergencies anymore. A bill, an unexpected cost, a rough week, they still matter, but they don't knock you off balance. You feel less pushed to fix everything right away. What really shifts is your focus. Before, your mind jumped to small choices all day long. Every spend felt big, every decision felt heavy. Now, your brain starts caring more about direction than relief. Big choices get more attention. Small urges lose their grip. You don't feel perfect, you still feel temptation, but it doesn't control you the same way. You're not fighting yourself all the time. You're thinking clearer, calmer, and with more patience. This isn't because you became smarter overnight, it's because your brain isn't in panic mode anymore. Once safety feels real, thinking changes on its own. And when thinking changes, behavior follows without force. You start to notice the change outside of money too. You walk into work feeling a little more grounded, not confident in a loud way, just steadier. You're not carrying the same quiet fear that one bad moment could ruin everything. When pressure shows up, you don't rush to please the same way. You listen more. You pause before agreeing. You don't feel that tight need to hold on at all costs. And that changes how you speak. Your voice feels calmer. Your words feel clearer. You also notice something else. You don't feel trapped in every situation anymore. A bad day doesn't feel like a threat. A hard conversation doesn't feel like danger. You know you have a bit of space behind you, and that space changes how much power other people have over you. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means fear stops driving every move. You make choices with less panic and more thought. You don't jump at every offer or avoid every risk. You feel more balanced. The strange part is, nothing dramatic happened. You didn't change jobs. You didn't take big risks. But inside, you feel less desperate. And when desperation fades, clarity shows up. That's what this buffer really gives you. Not freedom in a big way, just enough calm to stop reacting to everything like it's an emergency. At some point, you feel it. Relief. Your shoulders drop a little, the pressure eases, and almost right away, another thought slips in. You tell yourself you deserve something. You've been careful. You've held back. So using the money feels fair. It doesn't feel reckless. It feels earned. You think, I'll just take a little, or I can build it back. And in that moment, it feels harmless. Comfort finally shows up, and your brain wants more of it. Here's the quiet trap. Your brain connects relief to spending again. Not because you're careless, but because it learned that touching the money made the stress go away. So the next time pressure hits, your brain remembers the shortcut. When the savings drop, even a little, something inside you tightens again. The safety you worked for fades faster than you expected. And now, you're back in the same loop, trying to rebuild the calm you just lost. This mistake doesn't come from greed. It comes from emotional release. Your brain wasn't trying to ruin progress. It was trying to feel okay. Understanding that matters, because once you see this pattern, you stop blaming yourself. And when blame is gone, you're less likely to repeat it without noticing. After that slip, you might feel disappointed in yourself. Not angry, just tired. You wonder why it was so easy to undo something that took so long to build. That feeling can make you want to give up or stop thinking about it altogether. Here's the shift that matters. You stop seeing that money as something you might use one day. You start seeing it as protection, not a reward, not a backup plan for wants. Protection from panic, protection from rushing, protection from making choices out of fear. When savings feel available, your brain keeps testing it. When savings feel protected, your brain relaxes around it. That difference is quiet, but powerful. You're not trying to grow fast anymore. You're trying to stay steady. This also means you stop checking it for comfort. You don't look at it to feel better on hard days. You let it sit there, doing its job in the background. The goal isn't to feel rich. The goal is to feel safe without touching it. Once that mindset settles in, saving stops feeling like effort. It starts feeling like boundaries. And boundaries don't drain you the way constant control does. At this point, nothing feels dramatic. You're not excited. You're not stressed either. You just feel steadier, and that's the part that matters. You're not fighting your brain the same way anymore. You start to see that saving was never about forcing yourself to act better. It was about giving your mind enough space to feel safe. Once that safety is there, everything slows down. Decisions feel clearer. Pressure feels smaller. The future doesn't feel so heavy. You don't need to rush this. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to understand what's really been happening inside you all along. When your brain stops feeling threatened, it stops pushing back. And one day, without making a big deal out of it, you realize something simple. You're no longer reacting to money. You're quietly shaping it to support the life you're already living. Before you go, just notice something. If this video put words to a feeling you've had for a long time, that matters. It means you're paying attention to what's really happening inside you. If you want more calm, clear conversations like this about money and the mind, you can subscribe to the channel. Not for motivation, not for hype, just to keep understanding what's really driving your choices.